note reading challenge. I'm going to test to see just how good you are. Let's take a look at the lesson breakdown. So quick note that to get the most out of this lesson, you're going to want to play along on the piano as we go. It's not 100% required, but you will get more out of the lesson. So to break it down, we're going to start out by testing your ability to read music on the staff. Then next, we're going to be testing reading both staves at the same time, so like one note on the treble clef and also one note on the bass clef at the same time. See if we can build on that a little bit. Then after that, we're going to test your ability to read music up high and below the staff on those magical things called ledger lines. After that, you're going to be playing back what I write. We're going to start out simple. I'll just be writing a few notes and you'll have to play it back on the piano. Are you ready? I know I am. Let's get started. Okay, let me mute the music as much as we love it. Hey, it's working. Let me know, guys, if you can't hear or see anything, but I think playing back, we're probably good to go. Welcome, everybody. So happy that you could join us. I guess get me on the camera for a second, but let's get on with our lesson here. I'm almost gotta switch screens. There we go. Okay, hello everybody if you're joining us live. All right, let me erase this little example that I had here earlier messing around with, and let's do this music reading. Sorry, it bothers me if it doesn't say the right thing. Okay, so here we go. If you don't know how to read music, the lines of the treble clef from the bottom to the top are E, G, B, D, and F. Actually, let me show you. So remember, a note can fall on a line or a space, and depending on which line or space tells you what note to play and where on the piano to play that note. So what I was saying is this is E. Can you see that? Good. Let me maybe get it over. Well, it's not showing the treble clef. Anyway, so there's E, G, B, D, and F. And the spaces are F, A, that one's C, and that one's E. So let's just try and mess around with this treble clef here. There you go. There's the proper one. So we're going to do the lines first. So if I have a note on that bottom line, hopefully you know that that is E. And now what I'm going to do is each one we're going to do, I'm going to move it to the next one. Here's another line. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to figure this out. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That note is D, because remember, it's every good boy D for deserves. So if our first E was here, right above middle C, just remember that each time you go up a line, it skips a note, and we're going up to D right there. All right, let's try a few more. How about that one? And we will get more complicated, so if you know all these, don't worry. So you got E, G, B. So if this is the first bottom line, next line up, and that's where our notes are. Let's do one more. How about that one? Well, remember I said it was E, G, B, D. The top line was F. And so here's the bottom line, up a line, up a line, up a line. And that's where F is. Always think about where notes are in relation to middle C. So middle C is quite a ways down there. Therefore, you know that it's not going to be this F. That F's way too close. That would be right here. This F is a whole octave above that. Do you love my handwriting? I know you do. Hello, everybody. Good. Everybody can see in here. Let's continue here. Okay, now for the spaces of the treble clef, and then we'll kind of mismatch them together. Remember that that one's F, A, C, E. So if I landed on that one, that is, unless you have short-term memory problems, that is A. And actually, I just want to point out that the bottom space F, which I pointed out a few minutes ago, is right there. on the piano, because middle C would be pretty close to where that is. So there's F. Where's this note? That is C. But you know it can't be middle C, right? Because C is way down on the staff. Has to be this one right here. How about that one? Well, that was just one space up, right? Well, that is going to be, I guess I said I was going to give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That one is going to be an E. There we go. I need to abide by the rules better. So hopefully you have a good little review of the lines and spaces of the clef. I try to make that as quick as possible for people who have already done this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 4 notes. They're either going to be on a line or a space. And now you are going to start playing along here. I'll tell you what you're going to be doing and when. So here are your 4 notes. They are all in the treble clef. Make that as large as possible. So the first note is on a line. The next one's on a space. The next one's on a line. The next one's on a space. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to figure it out on your own. You want to figure out what 4 notes these are and also play them on the piano. So I'm going to 5, 4, 3, 2. Here comes the first note. The first note's E. The next one is A. The next one's D. And the next one, last one, is C. Now, I want to point out one quick thing is that you can see right away, you can also kind of judge the distance between the notes to see, like read them a little bit faster. So that bottom one's E, right? And you can kind of see that that next one is far away, but it's not like way up here, right? So just use that to your advantage to know, like to double check to make sure you're not jumping further on the piano than you should be. We'll get into intervals maybe here in a minute. I was going to do that now. But you see, let me just make one last point. You see how like this one goes from this line right here to this space? Well, on the piano, those touch. That's what's called going down a second. Just meaning you're going down the next note. So if you see notes like right in a row from each other, pay attention to that. If you see them skipping every other note, like if you're skipping lines, it would look like that on the piano. And then keep in mind, if you are leaping, which is any larger than a skip, which is what we have here, but you can tell that it's not an enormous leap. It's just a reasonable one. So pay attention to your steps, skips, and leaps. That's just a little pro tip for you guys. Okay. Single note is okay, but whole bar is hard. Well, try this, Nick. As we're going along, try to get maybe like the first 2. Like, just do your best. See if you can get maybe the first one. And then you might even want to watch this lesson a few times over again. But do it at your own pace. If you can't get all 4 notes now in the 5 seconds, that's just fine. Let's try this, though. Keep in mind with what I just said, Nick, and anybody else listening. The top note is, I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That top note is F. Right? E, G, B, D, F. Now I have good news for you. Because I told you a minute ago just to pay attention when notes are going like in a line, like one after the other. We call that stepping. And if you take a look, we're going from line to space, line to space, line, space, line, space. So that means that these are going down the next notes like right underneath it, just like I played F, E, D, C. So use as much knowledge as you can to read these notes a little bit faster. But it's something that will definitely take time, Nick, and everybody else that's listening. So yeah, you might have to watch this one a few times, but a little tip for you, like this. Let's do these 4. So we have line, 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 line. And I said earlier that those were skipping, meaning you're skipping over every other note. So you know that these 4, I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These 4 notes are E, G, B, D. You're skipping up each time. Okay, and let's keep continuing here. Hopefully everybody is doing okay. We'll continue doing some a little bit easier ones, but we'll add, you know, some intrigue into the mix. So now, think about maybe what these 4 notes are. Another pro tip for you is that if you have 2 of the same note, well, guess what? They're the same note. So once you got one figured out, you got the other. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These notes, it's the top space, so that one's E. And then see how we're going from space to space? That means we're skipping. So we can skip down to C. We're stepping up from C to D. And then stepping up again from D to E. So the whole sequence would be just like that. Let's keep going along. Let me read next question really quick. So if you figure out the first note, you don't have to read the next notes one by one. You can play based on the first note of the bar. Well, yes and no. A great question for sure. So what I'm trying to say is you should ideally know where all the lines and spaces are. So practice that over the next few weeks, Nick, or anybody who's new. Just memorizing the lines and spaces of the treble clef and bass clef. I have a lot of lessons on the channel about reading music, and I kind of just briefly went over it in the beginning. So use that, but also use how the notes are moving also to your advantage to read them a little bit faster. I'm not trying to say that you want to skip out on reading notes on and off the staff, you know, like you would figure them out, but use all the information you have available to you to read them a little bit faster, if that makes sense. So practice, keep practicing them, even though you can say, okay, I know we just did this one, but that's a skip, 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 skip. You still want to know just from your memory E, G, B, D. You'll find that when you're playing real music, you can use both of them to your advantage. All right, let's continue here. And we're going to do these 4 notes. One is a little tricky, and this one, we'll do this one first, right? Now, we do know this note. That's the bottom line of the treble clef. That's E. So this is literally when you just go one note to the left of E to D, right? Because once you start to go any lower than that, you start adding in ledger lines. Oh, hey, there's middle C. And then you would need lines to figure out where you're going from there. We'll talk about ledger lines here in a minute. We'll leave this note here. That's D. Remember that. What's that top line? I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is an F, and specifically that F's up here. Now, and you can write, well, if you're just starting out, you can write them in. After a few weeks, I do recommend you write them notes in less and less. But you got an F up here. You probably remember from a minute ago that this is F, right? That's that F right above middle C. Hey, they're both F. So, this takes some finesse and takes some getting used to. But if you see that a note is pretty far apart, right? It's almost from the bottom of the staff to the top of the staff. I mean, it could be in different locations as well. But you see that they're pretty far apart. You know that one is on a line, the other one is on a space. Here's a little rule of thumb. Like I said, you have to kind of do some double checking, and you'll get better and better at identifying these from sight. But if you see them really far apart like that, see that one's on a line, the other's on a space, or vice versa, 99% of the time, you're probably looking at what's called an octave. And an octave just means that it's 2 of the same note, just 8 notes apart. So if you know that this is F, you see that giant, gap right there. You see that this one's on a space. You know that that one's probably an F. You don't have to do it that way. I'm just trying to get in your noggin that you can use your spatial recognition as well. What is this note right here? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is a D. And let's not, actually, we already said what this note is. It's a D, right? But if I didn't know that, how would I figure that out? Well, I could count the notes, which I do recommend you do. But I could also do this. I could say, okay, they're pretty far apart. One's on a line, one's on a space. I know Tim's 90% rule. There's a 90% chance that that's an octave. And hey, a D to D. Let's continue. Let's do maybe like a little bit of harmony. Nothing crazy, but it is something worth talking about. Here, let me get this in view here. Okay, so now we have two stacked notes on top of one another. It's going to be played like this on the piano. Those are called harmonies. They're kind of like the beginnings of chords. Well, chords are technically harmonies as well, but harmony is just when you're playing two tones at the same time, and they will be stacked vertically like so. Now, you have two notes right away, and you probably saw me play them. They're both on a line. So you got E on a line, a G on a line. And whenever you see that, or if you had them continually stacked like this, those are what's called thirds. So you're skipping over every other note, except this time you're playing them all at once. But I didn't have that many notes. I actually only had the first two. So you got E and G. Now, what is these two notes? I'll let you figure those out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're out of time. So the bottom note's A, and you know that they're going from space to space. Like before, they're the same distance apart. They just start on a space. You know that that's a third, just meaning that you're skipping those two notes. Or skipping over this note, hitting them at the same time. And then this next one is actually the same thing. It's just going from here up to there. And then we have our last one, which is these two. And you may remember from a minute ago that this is our F right above middle C. And you have a stacked third like that. Oh no, the cursed two notes. I agree. Yes, you will start noticing some patterns. And I think that's one of the things I want to get across to you guys today is not only am I kind of drilling you on these, but I'm trying to get you to think about reading music in all these different ways, knowing that you can memorize the lines and spaces, but you can also use your intervals as well, and just look at spatial recognition type of things. Are these notes far apart or are they close together? And that's something that I never really got a lot of practice in when I first started playing. So this is really why I'm going over this stuff quite a lot. Just give me 5 seconds here, guys. Okay. Perfect. So hopefully you guys are enjoying accidentals, please. Okay. You got it. Maybe not right this second, but we will do accidentals for sure. All right. I'm going to draw 4 notes. And you're going to have to figure them out. I'm not going to talk about it at all. So now we're into the big boy stuff. Or big girl. All right. Now there's 4 notes. I'm going to give you 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you know what they are? Here they go. You got A. You got E. You got F. And then you're just coming right back down to where we started. Yes, I am good at sight reading. Yes, we are going usually for an hour or so. Okay, let's continue here. Make sure you guys are paying attention. What are these 4 notes? I'm going to give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They are F. We should know this guy by now. We've seen him so many times. That's the F right above middle C. You got C. And see how there's a big gap between those last two notes? One's on a space, one's on a line. Remember Tim's 90% rule, that it's 90% likely it's an octave. And sure enough, it is. Okay, somebody said accidentals. So an accidental, if you don't know, is basically when you have a sharp or a flat in a piece. So let me show you. Oh, let me zoom out. There we go. Okay, we have altered this note. So without this alteration, this hashtag looking thing called a sharp, by the way, if we didn't have that, it would just be 4 Fs, right? Pretty easy. But this thing is called a sharp. What it does is it sharps the note. You go one up and to the right, and that will be your note. So instead of F, we're going to be playing what's called F sharp. So we have 4 of them in this measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you're new, you may be thinking, Tim, there's only the first one that's sharp. The other 3 don't have a sharp next to them. Well, guess what? There's a bunch of unwritten rules in music that you have to abide by, and this is one of them. And this rule is that if you have a sharp in the measure, it affects all notes of that same letter. So if you have F sharp, if you have any other Fs in the measure, they will automatically be sharped also. However, it's only Fs, or it's only the letters to the right of that sharp. So what I mean by that is, say we had the sharp here. Well, we're reading it just like we would, anything else from left to right. So you got F, F, F sharp, F sharp. The sharp doesn't come into effect until the sharp appears, and it affects all of the letters of the same, notes of the same letter after it, to the right of it in the measure. But these ones are not affected because the sharp doesn't come in until right there. Let's do a couple more examples because I know some people get confused by this. What if I had it right there? Well, now we'd have F. F sharp happens here, and remember, it affects all to the right of it. So you got F, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp. So F, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp. Just like that. Flats, let's bring it down to E for this one, because I really don't want to go over into what an F flat is right now. Say we had this. A flat looks like a little B, and it's the opposite of a sharp. So remember with sharp, we were going one up and to the right. This one, we're going one down and to the left. So these 4 notes without that flat would be E. Right there. Well, if you flat it, our E flat would be right there. However, the first 3 notes here are not flatted. So you have E, 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 and then there's your flat. So this measure would go E, 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 E flat. Now you may be thinking, Tim, not sure why I did that. Tim, why, or what happens if you have a note in the next measure? Well, this line here, it's like the border, right? And it keeps out the accident. I don't know. I'm trying to make a really bad analogy here. But anyway, it's a wall, right? And whoa, it's changing all sorts of stuff on me. So anyway, once you hit the bar line, the rule is then like erased. Like you start new again, right? You're starting over. So the flats apply to all to the right of it, except if there's a bar line. The bar line erases it, if that makes sense. Therefore, this one would be an E natural, and that's actually what symbol they have written there. Sometimes, actually, a lot of times they won't write it there. You'll just have to know that that's back to E natural. So let's mess around with some of these sharps and flats. Let's see how good you guys are. Okay, so here's our measure. I'm going to count down from 5. Ready? No, 10. This is called, the program I'm using is called Staff Pad. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? So these 4 notes are E, which is right here. You got G sharp right there, because remember we're going from G up 1. You have E here. And we had this note before. This is another G sharp. So this is the point I wanted to bring up here. See how there's a G here and there's a G here, but there's a different note in here, right? So it's like, well, what do we do? Well, it doesn't matter. This will still affect G sharp. It's not going to affect the E, the sharp, because it's a different note. It only affects those of the same note. Now, what if you had a G over here? That would be G natural, because the bar line erases all. Okay. Let's do some more. Yeah, let's get crazy. Okay, what do we have here? I'm going to count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. You got B, B flat, G. Oops, I played the wrong note. G. Oh, sorry. This goes from the beginning. You got B, B flat, G flat, G flat. Because remember, the flat will also affect that one. Now you may be saying, Tim, how was I supposed to know that was a G flat? You didn't tell me this one. Well, it's because you know that F's right here, and that's just one note up from F, which happens to be G. All right, we have to get to bass clef, but we're not going to spend as much time on bass clef. A lot of the rules I have told you apply. However, you just have to know that the bass clef, the lines from the bottom to the top are E, G. No. I'm thinking treble clef. Scratch that. G, B, D, F, A. And then the spaces are, I said the spaces are A, C, E, G, or all cows eat grass. But the whole thing is the same. The rules with the sharps and the flats work the same. The whole thing with like figuring out how far apart notes are is the same. A lot of it is the same. It's just that the notes are in a different spot. This is what we wanted to do. Does accidental on G note affects all G in this bar or only G's on that line? All G's in the bar. Or only G's on that line. Oh, it affects all G's even if it's on a different, yes, even if it's on a different line or space. It will affect it. Usually if they're nice, they will let you know. Like the composer will write in like flat or natural. But not always. Actually, I've even seen some versions and some versions of pieces where it's like contradictory, where you assume that it's going to affect the other one, but then you're like, oh no, they just didn't write in the natural here. So I would say I'd say yes, the rule is that it affects. So like the question really is, in case you're confused on what we're talking about. So say I had a F sharp here. Come on. And then the next note's F. Come on here. This program is so annoying because when you write something, it pauses for a minute. Anyways, so you got F sharp right here, and the question is this F also sharped, even though it's on a different space or line? The answer is yup. So now that that's done, let's do some bass clef. I'm gonna just draw 4 bass clef notes. And we gave you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This one. Remember, I said that the lines of the bass clef were G. Oops. Hope I played the right notes. G, B, D, F, A. And the bottom note G in the left hand is all the way down there. So these 4 notes are G, B, D, F, because you're just skipping up each line, making it real easy for you. All right, let's try it again. Let's try another one. Here's an example for you. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. You got these 4 notes here. You got E, because remember I said it was all cows eat for the spaces. You're going down to C for that next one. See, I immediately knew that these were both on spaces, so they are a third apart, or meaning that you're skipping over a note there. We talked about this note. Well, actually, we didn't. It's the top line, G, B, D, F, A flat. And take a look here. You have a line. You have a space. They are very far apart. What is Tim's 90% rule? Well, when you see that 90% of the time, it's going to be an octave. So if you have A flat here, you're just going to jump down and hit A flat down there. And the flat still affects that A, even though it's down there. If, like I said, if they were nice and they wanted this regular A, they would just do that. All right. You know what? The way this is written. Let me try something really quick. Hold on. You know, the way this is written, this is suggesting to me that it doesn't affect the other one because it makes me write this flat here again. You know what? I think I might have it backwards because it's, let me see. Because I'd rather give you guys the right, I'd rather mess up a little bit and then give you guys the right info. Oh, okay, so they do need the other one. And that what I was thinking of, okay. So it doesn't affect the other one automatically. But in some pieces, you have to double check because sometimes they do want this other one to be an A flat and they don't tell you. That's what I was thinking of because I found a few examples of that. But the rule of thumb, I'm sorry, is actually that it doesn't affect the other one unless it specifically tells you. That's if they're doing their job, the editors. So you don't need the natural here. That would just automatically be A. That's my bad. I had it backwards. E, C, A flat, then regular A. If I wanted you to play an A flat, it would be like that. But always double check just in case. Because I got it backwards. I'm sure somebody else did too. I'm sorry about that. But that is the answer to that riddle. All right, let's try something else. So one thing I want to point out is that this note right here is middle C. And remember that on the treble clef, that this is also middle C. It's just on the treble clef, it's below the staff. On the bass clef, it's above the staff. That's what we call a ledger line. We'll talk more about that in a second. They're lines you add to tell where you are far up and below on the staff. So with that said, let's figure out these 4 notes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. these 4 notes are as follows: G, B, D, C, which sounded really bad. And then for extra credit, you got 1 note over and to the right. If we're playing in G major tonality in the piece, you have an F with an F flat. What is it, F natural or F flat? If you're in G major and you have an F, it's going to be F sharp. Unless it tells you otherwise, then it'll be F flat. All right, let's continue here. We're going to read 2 notes, 1 note on each clef. Ready? All right, they're both as whole notes. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. 10, 9. What you need to do, actually, I should tell you before it counts down, is that you need to read the bass clef note and then the treble clef note, and you play them at the exact same time. So ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These 2 notes are C and G. You're going to play them exactly at the same time because they are stacked vertically like so. Let's do some more and then we will branch out from there. What about these 2? Let me scroll up a little bit. There we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These 2 notes are middle C and D. You're going to play them at the same time to your detriment because it won't sound very good, but that's what it is. Now let's build on that. Oops. Okay, so now you got a whole note in your left hand, and then you got 2 half notes in your right hand. So what I want you to do in these 10 seconds, figure out what 3 notes these are, and then I'll show you how to play it. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These are played like this, and here's why. So you see how these are stacked vertically like so. That means you're going to play them together. However, this one is a whole note. This one's only a half note. So you're going to hold this one the whole time while you play this one for 2 and this one for 2. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Let's make it a little bit more complicated, shall we? Okay, it's the same sort of thing, but there's more notes now. In fact, I want to change this note to here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 10 seconds. You got to figure out what these notes are. See if you can play it. But I'll play it either way at the end, just so you can double check. So here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So right away, I know in my left hand, I have a C on the bottom. I see that this other one's on a space. They kind of skip over each other. I do know that that's a fifth. We're not going to get into that right now. But I do say that I have a C on the bottom, and then it just goes up, to not to the next space, but the space after that. So I know that that's CG, sorry. I know that the note in the right hand is E, and I know that they're hitting at the same time because they're stacked vertically. And then this time, the beats are 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the whole note is being held for all 4 counts. You got beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and 4. And if you need to learn how to read music, I have plenty of lessons on the channel. That's what I'm trying to say, that you can learn way more about that. So what I'm going to do right now, so I don't forget, is I'm going to go over a few announcements, and then we're going to do ledger lines, and then we'll probably wrap it up for today. We could easily do another one of these note reading challenges in the future, you know, build what we talked about today, really get into more advanced stuff, really make it a challenge. But I wanted to make it a challenge really for people who are newish to reading music, or people who need, that's why I tried to include like a little bit more like background knowledge and things you should be on the lookout for people who do know a little bit about reading music already. So let's continue here, or let's get me in frame. Let's get me focused there. Okay, so let me do some announcements here. Just give me a minute here. Less than a minute. And then we'll finish out the lesson. I do need a drink. One of the reasons I wanted to go over here. Okay. So what I want to tell you about is, where is it? Over on my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com. I'm trying to get this. There we go. This is probably the best way to see it. I want to tell you about this because I decided to extend the Black Friday sale until December 5th. So I extended it by about a week. And that's just to give people like one last chance to take advantage of the Black Friday sale, either in case they forgot or they had some kind of issue we've been communicating back and forth with. And I just want to give people a few more days to sign up if they want. And if you don't know, my courses are much more structured than my YouTube videos. So on the YouTube videos, I usually cover something and then kind of move on right away. I don't give you like practice examples or sheet music or, you know, worksheets, things like that. Well, these courses are neatly broken down into like 5 units a piece. Each unit, you're going to be learning a topic per unit or a few topics. And so you're going to be like watching a video, learning topics. And then after that, you're going to get the opportunity to put those topics that you're learning into actual practice with accompanying sheet music, worksheets, examples to play around what you're learning, so that you're not just learning something and moving on, but you're learning, practicing, and mastering it as well. I cannot get the changer working today. So you can learn piano theory, improvisation, anything else you need to be a well-rounded musician. And these I have courses that are perfect for beginners who need a solid foundation, or if you have some experience already and you're looking to advance your skills, my courses will help you do just that. You can contact me with any questions you may have. You'll learn at your own pace because the courses do not expire. And then, of course, you can take the courses with you on your favorite device. Here are the 4 packs that I have: the beginner's pack, intermediate pack, advanced pack, and the all course access. So when you are interested in a pack, you can click on it, see the courses that are included. You can click on any course you want, see what's going to be included in the course generally, what you need to know ahead of time. Pretty important stuff. And then one last thing, 2 last things, is that there's a 30-day full refund. So just request one by email, not a problem, and I'd be more than happy to honor that. And then the last thing I want to tell you for real, and then we'll get back to the lesson, is that if you type in YouTube, say you added it to the cart, you're ready to go. Click YouTube, you click apply, and boom, it gives you an additional 15% off the already discounted price. And that YouTube code will even work, obviously, when there's not a Black Friday sale going on. But I want to let you know about that because it's only going to be on for another week and then it will end. And these are the lowest prices the courses will be, because next year the course prices are going up. So be aware of that. I want to let you know because it's a good way to both support your own music education and the channel as well. All right, let's get back on to our lesson, shall we? Let's see how everybody is doing here. Excellent lesson, Tim. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeremy, for linking. We're going to continue on with our lesson. Okay, so I hope everybody is following along, enjoying yourselves, and liking the lesson. Did you know that likes actually matter now? For a while I'm getting back over here, for a while they were telling us, like YouTube was telling us, like, oh, likes don't really matter. Like you can get all the likes you want on a video and it doesn't like affect it at all. And now the other day, like out of nowhere, they're saying that it like helps the video like get seen. So like the video. Anyways, let's continue. We're probably gonna wrap it up with ledger lines. We still got another 15 solid minutes to go. But let's do ledger lines. We're gonna go back to the treble clef for just a moment, because there's something I want to show you. Whoops. That is not what I meant it to do. Okay. So, you have the lines of the treble clef, right? F, A, C, E. Like so. I want to give you a pro tip. So these things, when you go up off the staff, as I mentioned earlier, are called ledger lines. Now, this is the easiest way to know your ledger lines. When you have ledger lines starting from the top line, going up off the staff, you see how that top line, you're like, man, I would never be able to read that in time. Well, I have good news for you. Because, let me draw the lines and then I'll explain. Because these spaces, so if you have lines going up off the treble clef, it's the same as the spaces on the staff. So let me show you. These four notes are F, A, C, E. These four notes are F, A, C, E. So the lines going up off the ledger lines are equal to the spaces. Now, if you had the opposite of that, let's do that. Oh, it didn't write it out right. Well, it actually did write it out right. It just didn't write it out the way I wanted. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. Okay. Sorry, everybody. It's giving me a lot of trouble right now. There we go. Okay, so now the inverse is also true. So if you had, say, what the heck? There we go. Yeah, perfect. Now say you had ledger lines. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? I said this. There we go. Sorry guys, it keeps like freezing on me, even though it shouldn't be doing that. So anyway, you have your spaces going up off the ledger line, starting from the top space. Well, those are equal to the lines on the staff, or at least the first four lines on the staff. So you have E, E, G, G, B, B, D, D, and then you would have F. You had F, F, and then F. Up there, it won't draw them for me, but you get the idea. So the spaces, let me try to sum this up for everybody. So the lines on the staff is equal to the spaces going up off the staff in ledger lines. The notes on the line, the notes on the lines are equal to the spaces. The notes on the spaces are equal to the lines, if that makes sense. Keep going over that again and again, but that's just a little shortcut to figure out your ledger lines. Let me show you like exactly how this is going to come into play. We'll put this into practice. Now, let me go over here. Okay. Say I have that note, right? I have no idea what that note is, even though it's a lie. I know it's a B. So how are we going to figure out this note if I didn't already know it's a B? Well, it's on a space, right? Because if it's on a line, the line has to go directly through it. So I know that that's a space. This is the space that we're starting with, right? Because I said that you have to start from the top space and count from there. And I know that this space is equal to this line. So therefore, this space must be equal to this line, and this space must be equal, not to that one, but to the one above that. So E, G, B. Now let's do another example. Let's see if we can get a little faster. There you go. So that one is on a line. So if it's on a line, we're probably talking about the spaces on the staff, right? So if the spaces on the staff are F, A, C, E, the lines going up off the treble, the ledger lines are F, A, and therefore we know that that line is C. Let's see. I'm watching every video. Watching till the end is actually probably the most helpful tip that I have. Okay, let's continue here. Now you maybe, what is happening here? There we go. Okay, now you may be saying, Tim, what if I go down on the staff? What if I go down this way? All right, let's do this. Of course. All right, I need to calm down. This thing is getting me all upset for no reason, just because it's doing whatever it wants. Anyways, so say we have these 4 notes down here. Question, are these notes on lines or spaces? They're on spaces, right? And they're going down below on the ledger lines. Therefore, we have to compare them to the lines in some way. You have to be careful with this, though, because last time we were going up this way, and we were like kind of lining them up, you know, like kind of like that. This time we're going down this way. So you have to make sure that you have to line up this top line with this bottom space, because those are both F's. And then once you do that, you can line up the next notes real easy. And then if you had an E down there, it would be right there. So these 4 notes, I know that that's F, right? It's kind of tricky, though, because you have to count backwards. So you have to know that's E, G, B, D, F, or F, D, B, G, E, or on the piano it would be F, D, B, G, E, just like that. I need a drink so bad, guys. Give me a second. Oh, my mouth got so dry for a second. Glad to have you live with us also, Eddie. All right, guys, we're going to continue here. Let me do this. I have an easier way, or this way works better for me for the ledger lines, just being honest. So say I have these 4 notes right here. I know that bottom note, that bottom space is an F. And anytime, remember earlier in the lesson, I said when you're like going up on spaces, say all the spaces in the treble clef, right? Or F, A, C, E. Each space, you skip over a note each time. So therefore, I can use the same method, just kind of counting, skipping backwards on the piano. So let me show you. I know that this note right here, the top note there, is an F, because it's the bottom space of the treble clef. I do know that note. And then look, the other ones are just on spaces, so you just skip down until you go down enough. So we started from F here. The next one down is D. That one's right there. B is right there. Boom. G is right there. So whichever way works for you. You can compare the spaces to the lines, lines to the spaces. It works the same in the bass clef as well. Some people really, really like that method. Or you can just be like, okay, let's do another example. Let's move them up this time. So I'm going to figure out these 4 notes. Well, I do know that this top one's an F, right? That's on the staff. And by the rule I've been telling you this whole time, if you're going from line to line to line to line, or space to space to space to space, you're doing what's called skipping over every other note. So if I know that this first note's here, I can skip, skip, skip to find that top note, E. That actually works a little bit better for me than the other thing. But like I said, I did have a lot of students telling me like, oh my goodness, I never thought about it this way before. You know, it's so cool. So I wanted to explain both of those for you. And he says, can you explain timing? I have trouble with timing and how it works. You know, I feel like that would definitely be a live stream all on its own. That would be like a rhythmic challenge. So the answer is yes, we can do that, but we cannot do it today. Because actually, I didn't even notice, but our hour is pretty much up. So I'm gonna, let me think about like what's coming up with the channel here. I have a, let me kind of like see what we got going on. Other than the Black Friday sale, of course. We are meeting on Friday, guys. This is, write this down. No, sorry, Saturday. Saturday the 4th of December is our second Piano Practice Club meeting. If you don't know about Piano Practice Club, where have you been? Jeremy has linked you to the Discord in the chat. So you can join Piano Practice Club by joining the Discord. It's just basically where we meet once a month. We all practice the same list of stuff. And then we meet once a month, play for each other. I give you like some feedback. And then we come up for the list for the next month. It's a very cool like community building experience. I've gotten a lot of messages from people saying that it's really helped them keep motivated to keep practicing more, feeling like they're part of a community. So all you need to do to join Piano Practice Club is join the Discord, and then know that our second club meeting, we already had our first one, it's posted on the channel. Our second club meeting is going to be, I'll post it officially tomorrow, like the link to it and everything, but it's going to be on Saturday the 4th of December at 3 p.m. Eastern. So I want to tell you about that. We will also, hopefully, I wasn't able to do it this weekend because we had Thanksgiving and then my computer didn't work. Not my computer didn't work. We had some technical issues on the other day. So hopefully this time we can get in 2 live streams this weekend. One on Saturday at 3 and one on Sunday at 3. So make sure to check that out. The one on Sunday is posted. It was, oh yeah, it was the one we missed last week. Let me see what it is. I honestly don't know. Where are you, live streams? Oh, choosing the perfect piano keyboard for you will be the one we do on Sunday. So if you've been looking to purchase a keyboard, maybe, you know, you have some funds coming in with the holiday coming up, or, you know, maybe your parents have asked you to pick out a keyboard. I'll be giving you, during that lesson, that live lesson, I'm going to be giving you a list of things you should look for in your own keyboard, your own piano, so that you can make the best choice for you. Because I can say go buy this one or go buy that one, and I probably will give you some options of what you can choose from, but it's better off just telling you, like, you want 88 weighted keys, you want to make sure the pedals do this, you want to make sure it has this kind of audio output, and that way if you come across another model, you'll know if it's good for you or not. And then some models that are great for me might not be good for you, and vice versa. So it's kind of like a keyboard buying guide type of thing, but instead of telling you exactly what to buy per se. I'm going to be telling you what to look for, and then maybe like suggestions based on that. Excuse me, let me take a drink. Yeah. Other than that, Black Friday sale, I want to make sure I talked about, and I did, piano lessons on the web, code YouTube 15% off. Piano practice club, the other one. I have some lessons that are being edited currently that are coming out, lessons you have not seen before yet, and they will be mighty useful. So mighty dighty, whatever that is. So those will come out. If it goes well with the editing, with my editor and getting the thumbnails done, it's going to be a big weekend coming up, because if all goes well, you know, the only thing that ever goes according to plan is nothing goes according to plan. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but if it all goes well, I'm going to be releasing a video on Saturday and Sunday morning, and then we'll also have the live stream Saturday and Sunday afternoon, at least afternoon my time. So there's going to be 4 pieces of content coming out on the weekend, and then I'm going to go back to doing I did one test short. If you don't know what a YouTube short is, it's a video less than a minute. And I tried one out, and I'm going to rework that idea so that it's going to be like a quick tips series. So like I'll put out a short on Wednesday. I can't say exactly what day this is going to begin, but this is something that I've planned. So say on like Wednesday, I'll put out a short, and it'll be like a really useful tip. It'll either be a tip you haven't heard before, or like one of the best tips, like one of the tips you would watch an hour lesson and probably be like the highlight of, or whatever. Basically like a really condensed lesson, you know, really short to the point lesson. And it's just going to be called Tip of the Week. We actually did this series before YouTube Shorts was a thing, but now that YouTube Shorts is a thing, I think we're going to bring it back. People did like that. They're really bite-sized lesson videos, kind of the complete opposite to what the live streams are all about. So I wanted to inform you guys on all that. I want to tell you about one more thing. I promise, and then I'll let you go. I want to see if I can show you guys this. So I'm getting a head start on something I'm working on next year. That is not it. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I need to bring up a special... Just hang with me. Hang with me. I'm still here, I promise. Window capture. Here we go. Okay, so I want to show you something. So this is something that I'm working on for next year. I've been talking about it a lot, actually. And I would call this the this is like an alpha build. So you know how, like, when you release software, there's alpha, beta, and then there's like the full release. So this is the release before the official release. So meaning that it's the really rough draft. So this is what I've been working on for next year. You can probably figure out what it is because I've been talking about it a lot. But it's going well. As you can see, it's looking nice and neat and nifty. And like I said, that this is the alpha. Yeah, this is like the alpha build. So it will get even better than this. Quite a bit better than this, because this right now, I'm just kind of converting things over from the old course. If you haven't figured it out by now, this is just like a proof of concept of the redo or the restructuring I'm going to do for the courses I have over on my website. I'm just going to be modernizing things a little bit, making it look a little bit better, putting things into like one PDF document, making it easy to print. But it's going to cover all the same material. So if you're signing up for the courses now, it covers the same curriculum. You're not going to miss out on much. But the great thing is if you sign up for courses now, anybody who has signed up for courses previously, including now, automatically will get the updated version of the courses when they come out. Keep in mind that it's going to take a while. I'm not going to be able to get all the courses done in January, right? I'll be lucky if I get this introduction to piano and music course done in January. So it'll probably take me a good portion of the year to get them, a lot of them done, or them all done. but it'll be totally worth it. And then, like I said, anybody who's signed up for courses now automatically gets the new updated courses. The prices will go up considerably once the new versions are released, just because it takes me quite a bit of time to put this stuff together, because I'm not just like copying it over, I'm like cleaning it up. Some of the stuff I'm actually redoing, but it covers the same curriculum to alleviate confusion. And I feel like the curriculum is really solid anyway. It covers all the things you need to know. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys that. I probably could have waited to show you, but that was just like a little alpha build I wanted to show you guys. That's what I've been working on, getting a head start on cleaning those courses up. I'll have a lot more announcements on them as they're about to be released. And of course I want like anybody that's already signed up to know about them, so it's like, hey, you can check out this new version. It's going to cover, like I said, the same stuff. I will be including like a few extra examples here or there, so definitely worth checking out. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. I see you often in the YouTube videos. Oh, wait, what? Who are you in the Discord? Oh, me. Yeah, I'm Stay Goody in the Discord. Are you talking about... Oh, you're talking about Jeremy. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming by today. Thank you for Jeremy for being a mod. Does anybody else want to be... I'm trying to think who I trust to be a mod. You have to have been here like a bunch. Wendy, I would trust being a mod. No offense to anybody that I'm not like naming out here. But we do need more mods, because the problem is that sometimes Emma can't make it, and then Jeremy can't make it either. And then if we have any trolls in here, it's like they're going to have a free-for-all while I'm teaching the lesson. So, real quick, Wendy, if you're still there, excuse me, let me know if you're interested in being a mod. It's really easy. I just make you a mod, and then if anybody's being unruly, let me show you here. If anybody's being unruly, all you have to do is click these three things, and then you can either put them in timeout or hide them from the channel. I just usually, like, if somebody's clearly trying to mess with us, or they're just clearly not here to learn and they're just being disruptive, just hide them from the channel. The user in timeout thing, it's like, I don't know. So I'm not going to ban Nick. Nick, you have survived today. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to use that as an example. So that's all you would have to do, but I don't know if you're still here. Hey, Karen's here. Karen, I'm going to make you a mod. I trust Karen a lot, actually. Karen has been here a long time. Okay. Wendy has not gotten back to me. So anyway, I'll be in contact with you guys over Discord over who wants to be a mod. Because Jeremy does a great job, but I don't expect, just so I don't have to like expect those guys to be here all the time, because they have lives of their own, you know. Yeah, so hit the notification bell. Glad to have you back with us, Karen. It's been quite a while, or at least a little while. And yeah, thanks for coming by today, everybody. I think I have everything covered. I just want to make sure I had all the announcements covered. And, you know, we'll go from there. So thank you for coming by today. I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Be on the lookout for more videos, and watch more of my videos after this one. Actually, to be really serious, leaving a like and watching, excuse me, the entire video really helps. Feels like Karen has been here forever, a few years now for sure. That is true. Hi, Tim. How's things? It's good, Crypto MBT, but we're wrapping up here. All right, thanks everybody for coming by today. It's been your piano teacher, Tim, here, and I'll see you, yes, you, in the next lesson. Enjoyed it. Thanks. You're welcome.